Down the harbour in the pale grey dawn, where the quiet waters lay, old Michael tied his weathered net for another fishing day. The gulls were crying overhead, and the tide was turning slow, while the boats rocked soft in silence in the cold Atlantic flow. His wife stood by the harbour wall, with her shawl pulled to the wind, for the sea had taken many men from the town she lived within. But he smiled and said, "The Lord will keep a watch upon the foam." Then he crossed himself in silence as the boat was drifting from home. Oh, the fisherman's final prayer rose softly to the sky, through the mist above the restless sea, where the dark waves rise and die. And the wind carried every word across the waters there, of the quiet faith he whispered in the fisherman's final prayer. By the noon the sky grew iron grey, and the winds began to cry, rolling waves like moving mountains through the darkened winter sky. Boats returned with broken sails through the thunder in the air, but the one that carried Michael never reached the harbour there. Now the years have passed the harbour, and the town has grown with time, yet the bell still rings for sailors when the winter storms begin. And the old men speak his story when the sea grows dark and bare, of the quiet words remembered from the fisherman's final prayer. For the sea may keep its secrets deep beneath the restless foam, but the faith a man once whispered still can guide a sailor home. Oh, the fisherman's final prayer still is carried by the tide, through the winds and through the storming waves, where the wandering ships may ride. And the stars above the water still shine gently in the air, like the hope he left behind him in the fisherman's final prayer. In a valley dressed in emerald fields, where the morning mist would lie, lived a girl with quiet grace and the summer in her eyes. Every dawn she crossed the lane where the river wandered free, with a basket on her arm and a smile meant just for me. I was working on my father's land by the fence of weathered pine, when she passed along the narrow road where the climbing roses twine. She would greet me soft and shy as the sparrows sang above, and the valley slowly knew that my heart had fallen in love. Oh, the girl from the green valley had the sunlight in her hair, and the gentle hills around her seemed to guard her everywhere. Every breeze across the meadow carried whispers sweet and true of the girl from the green valley, and a love I always knew. Then one autumn word came down, work was waiting in the town, and I packed the things I owned as the leaves turned golden brown. By the river where we'd meet, she stood silent in the wind, and she pressed a ribbon blue in my hand before I went. Years rolled on like restless clouds over lands both far and wide, yet the memory of her laughter always walked there by my side. Through the noise of distant streets and the night so cold and long, I still heard the valley call like a half-forgotten song. So one spring I found the road that the wandering years had known, past the hills and past the gate where the wild white flowers had grown. And there by the quiet stream stood the girl I'd left behind, still the same within my heart, though the years had marked the time. Oh, the girl from the green valley still had sunlight in her hair, and the gentle hills around her held the love we used to share. Now the breeze across the meadow carries whispers old and new of the girl from the green valley, and the love that carried through.
On the hill above the village, where the hawthorn branches grow, there's a path the old men follow, where the evening shadows flow. And beneath that crooked hawthorn, where the wind moves soft and slow, lies a grave the years remember from a sorrow long ago. He was only just a young man with the summer in his stride, working field beside his father with his sweetheart by his side. But the road called out to fortune in the towns beyond the sea, and he swore he'd soon return again to the hills of memory. Oh, the grave beneath the hawthorn tree holds a story seldom told, of a boy who chased the morning with a heart both brave and bold. And the wind that moves the branches still repeats it quietly, of the young life laid to rest beneath the hawthorn tree. They say the ship was caught in storms far beyond the western shore, where the waves rose like dark mountains and the sky began to roar. Only whispers reached the village of the night the sea ran wild, and the mothers lit their candles for each sailor and each child. Years have passed across the valley like the turning of the tide, and the fields have grown around it where the quiet sheep now stride. But the hawthorn still stands watching where the lonely winds drift free, over one small silent resting place beneath the hawthorn tree. For the land keeps every memory, though the years may wander far, like a shadow cast at evening by a long forgotten star. Oh, the grave beneath the hawthorn tree still lies under open sky, where the wind sings through the branches like a soft and ancient cry, and the valley keeps its vigil for the soul that crossed the sea, sleeping now forever beneath the hawthorn tree.
It was a cold and silent morning when the post came down the lane, and the fog lay low upon the fields after 3 long days of rain. The envelope was worn and pale with a hand I knew too well, but the house had grown too quiet for the words it came to tell. I turned it slow beside the fire with a trembling in my hand, for the years had passed between us like the tide across the sand. We had parted in our pride with more anger than we meant, and the road had taken both our hearts farther than we'd meant. Oh, the letter written too late held the words I longed to hear, full of quiet apologies and the love that still was there. But the voice I hoped would answer was already gone from sight, leaving only ink and sorrow in the letter written too late. You wrote of all the nights alone when the memories would stay, of the words we never spoke again on that bitter parting day. And you said you hoped forgiveness might return us to the start, but the years had moved too quickly for the healing of the heart. Now the fields lie calm beyond the gate where the willow shadows fall, and the wind moves through the valley like a quiet, distant call. But the fire grows dim each evening, and the room feels cold and straight, while I sit with fading memories and the letter written too late. For the road of pride is lonely when the years have slipped away, and some words arrive like morning after night has turned to grey. Oh, the letter written too late still lies folded by my side, full of love that once was hidden behind silence and behind pride. And the wind across the valley whispers softly through the gate of the love that might have saved us in the letter written too late. The dawn came slow to Galway shore with a pale and quiet light, and the gulls were crying softly after one long stormy night. The tide moved in beneath the cliffs where the dark waves rolled and cracked on the morning by the harbour when the sea brought Michael back. 3 days past the boats had scattered when the winter storm had grown, and the winds had roared like thunder through the night no man had known. Some returned with broken masts through the grey and shattered foam, but one boat never reached the harbour nor the fields that were his home. Oh, the morning the sea brought him back, all the village stood in prayer, for the tide had carried sorrow through the cold and salted air. And the bells began their ringing while the gulls cried overhead on the quiet, lonely morning when the sea returned its dead. His wife stood by the harbour wall with a shawl around her face, for she'd watched the restless waters since the storm had left no trace. And the fishermen moved slowly with their heads bowed to the sand as the waves laid down their burden on the edge of Irish land. Now the tide still rolls through Galway past the cliffs both old and black, and the wind repeats the story of the day the sea gave back. And the harbour lights grow dim at dusk while the waves move soft and slow, but the sea keeps every secret that the living cannot know. For the ocean holds the stories of the souls that crossed its foam, and the winds across the water still remember every home. Oh, the morning the sea brought him back still is spoken of with care, for the sea may take a sailor but it leaves the memory there. And the tide that carried sorrow still returns along that track, like the dawn that rose in silence when the sea brought Michael back.